Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust, Christian, own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. Always a very important episode. So this is the vault episode 311. Who is the ideal trustee? You can look at the title, deal, and trustee inside of the phrase of the actual title of the episode says a lot more about what we're going to be talking about today. So appreciate everybody for tuning live, listening to replay. Feel free to shout out where you're listening from, what city, what state, where you're listening from. Feel free to type it into the chat. I always appreciate everybody that does. Definitely important. So, this is episode 311. Who is the ideal trustee? This is an episode that really goes to the trustees that are currently enrolled uh, to really give context, to give deeper meaning to what we're talking about in trustee training at this point being evolved. Quite a few trustees have gone through recently and have incorporated the entire system. So when you incorporate the entire system, you're more prepared for minimization situations in your growth and your development. These people are really protected. Families are really protected in this position, so really excited about that. And these families are obviously excited about that. So who's the ideal trustee? These are usually trustees that actually move forward with the entire system in the first place. You know, these are people that they want the entire thing. They want to make it a point to learn, so they are taking notes. They dedicate the time to the Sunday calls. It's so interesting that we tell people Sunday trustee training is optional. People come to the trustee training and then they just dedicate their time to it because they get so much value out of it. We've heard this for years. We've canceled trustee training for a week or so and got back to it, and still trustees are in high demand of a Sunday call where Q&A is facilitated between multiple families and things of that nature. People can hear other people, their questions, different type of business questions that may or may not be something that they're already going over or not in their particular situation. So we get quite a few families that want to go through the Sunday calls as well and move forward from there. So shout out to Dania Beach, Florida, and appreciate Dania Beach for tuning in live, listening to replay. Shout out to Port Allen, Louisiana. Appreciate Port Allen for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate Port Allen, Louisiana, for tuning in live, listening to replay. So once again, ideal trustees usually go through. They get they go through, make sure that they have the entire system in place for training, and they move forward. These are trustees that actually are focused on sticking around, building that relationship. They understand how valuable not only is the information, but they value the relationships that are created through trustee training. We know we feature people on our channel before, and so by featuring people, these are people that we've had trust relationships with, and moving forward. And so it's interesting to see people go to people that we've connected with throughout the years, whether it's through trustee training or whether it's through uh, directly, people connecting with people, outside of our relationships that we've introduced through trustee training, and things of that nature, because we do introduce, relationships through trustee training. So that's very, 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 very important. Very, very important is introducing those relationships. So when we talk about relationships, we're talking about deals. So when we talk about who's the ideal trustee, there are people that are doing deals, people that are in trustee training. People do deals together in trustee training. Shout out to Mississippi, tuning in live, listening live, listening to replay. Shout out to Mississippi, um, tuning in live, listening to replay. So the ideal trustee are people that are looking to even get deals, look at deals. We were talking to someone earlier today, and just a lack of straight business acumen, where when you share someone a deal, they don't actually give the due diligence to look at the entire deal in its entirety. It's like you could look over one thing in a deal and miss it, and that could be something that could make the deal a gold mine. And then you could look over a deal and see that this is literally a bad deal. But how can someone know if the deal is good or bad when people are not fully looking at deals, when they're not fully versed on the details? I mean, these are the things that make an ideal trustee someone that is going to focus on the details of the deal. And of course, you have a team around you, but you have an acumen to read the deals in full entirety as the leader, as the senior trustee of the trust. You're the senior trustee. But people say, oh, well, I didn't read the deal in its entirety. Or did you not? The ideal trustee reads the deals, reads every deal. An ideal trustee likes reading deals because there is no deal that is bad that you haven't read. And it's no good if you didn't read it. So it's very important to be reading deals as a trustee. This is something that we have to go into because trustees, it seems as though they've been handicapped if they don't have these deals, as if these deals don't exist, as if these deals are not available to them. But the deals are available to you if you're looking for deals. You first have to be looking for deals. Secondly, when you look for a deal, you actually have to have a deal to read and read it. That's why it's important to read a few books so you can know how to read a deal. Appreciate New Mexico for tuning in live, listening to replay. Shout out to Mexico. Tuning in live, listening to replay. New Mexico. Who is the ideal trustee? Somebody that has leadership skills. Someone that has good communication skills. They don't have to be exceptional, but they have to be good. They have to be able to get deals done. So many people say, oh, I want to be in trusteeship. I want to be in trusteeship. But are you in the learning mode? Trustees still have continuing education. Most trustees are lawyers or bankers. So when bankers have the American Bankers Association, the ABA. Then you got the Lawyers Association. What association is for trustees? Well, those people have professional associations, and that's what the trustee training is all about. It is a professional association of people coming together from all different professions that are in trusteeship. That are senior trustees going over the do's and the don'ts, making sure that you have the base foundation, because many people are managing wealth from one generation to the next. We're not talking about a business now. We're not talking about a business. Hey, Keith, what's going on, man? We gotta talk, but I'm doing a show right now, and you know I had to pick up for you. It's like a few people I pick up for on my deathbed, and you're one of them. I will. So yeah, I'll be in touch. I'll give you a call. All right. Trustee, that's a relationship. When you do good enough deals, there's people you'll pick up for. You guys know, if you listen to this show long enough, we're not interrupting the show, but that's worth picking up the phone for. These are things that you build in trust. When you're in trust, you deal in trust. When you're in trust, you deal in trust. When you're in trust, you deal in trust with people that are in trust. It makes the relationships easier. It makes the business dealings easier. It makes it all easier. Why? Because you come to it with a state of vulnerability of trust. But oh no, no. People come to deals with mistrust. And that's the problem. When you come to a deal emotional with mistrust, how can you get a deal done? How can a deal get done? We have to come to the deals with a level of open mindedness, with a level of vulnerability, which is trust. We don't own nothing, but we can control assets. We like doing those things. You're a manager. You're an asset manager. Who's the ideal trustee? The person that wants to be an asset manager, that wants to have zeros behind their name. And it isn't because of a discharge. It's not because of a whatever these guys are trying to abscond from debts. These guys that are trying to do adverse possession. Yeah, how are you calling it how are you calling it an asset if it's an adverse possession? But we're playing a game of assets under management. So it's not one house. Oh, then we got a few guys that want to play one house or multiple houses. Let's go to businesses then. It's all about AUM because that's what the trustees in our sector are doing. They're managing assets. So in turn, they have assets under management. But can you ask the average people out here, average people, oh, I'm doing this trading thing, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Well, assets under management. Your bank, the account that you're managing is an asset under management. What is the margin? Is it $250,000? Are you playing with $3 million? Are you playing with $30 million? Assets under management? Are you playing with $100 million? Assets under management? People could talk about it. Is it OPM? Is it managing money from other people's position of OPM? So what is OPM? Can you recognize the deals? See, this is the challenge we've seen with trustees. This is the challenge we've seen with the public, is recognizing a deal. How can you recognize a deal if you're not willing to watch a deal? This is the ignorance that we hear at the vault that comes to the vault via consultation. But trust Christian, you know, I don't have a long attention span. Well, if you don't have a long attention span, business isn't for you. Business is the long play, not the short play. Who told you business was a job where you're going to work 2 weeks and guarantee get a paycheck? It's guaranteed in a job. It's not in business. So how can you recognize a deal if you're bringing employee mentality to the business, to the trustee world? Can you recognize a deal when it comes? The deals are all around you. It's the acres of diamonds. It's been that. You live in America, the land of milk and honey. But how many people born here are complacent with the white picket fence and the house and working 30 years? See, the ideal trustee, here we go. We were talking to a trustee the other day, and this is how you know a trustee's progressing. I mean, this trustee is on fire right now. This trustee says, trust Christian. Trustees seem to think, and people that want to get into trust seem to think that they going to reap the benefits of trusteeship in their lifetime. They're not thinking about it 50 years out, 100 years out. I say, that's a trustee that gets it. That's a trustee that gets it. But oh no, trust Christian, I'm not thinking about my children. I'm not thinking about my children's children. I'm not thinking about the children. I'm not thinking about 5 generations from now. I'm not thinking about 8 generations from now. I'm not thinking about 9 generations from now. I'm not thinking about that, trust Christian. I'm thinking about right now. I gotta get my STEMI check. I can get the free PPP money, right? It's forgivable, right? It's a grant, right? You think we haven't heard this? And then when you sit around your mentors and they didn't get the loan, what are you going to do? The mentors aren't mad that you got it. They just know where your thought process is. You asked the seniors, the seniors didn't get it. Maybe to their LLCs. We didn't hear any though. But we know people that have LLCs that are legitimate businesses on the public side that reap the benefits of it. Few. The ideal trustee is looking to build within. The ideal trustee is looking to build generations out. See, this is how you know you're not going to make it. Because if you're not thinking generations out, you're not going to make it. This is a fact. You think we don't sit around these rooms around other wealthy people that have managed generational wealth from 4 generations, 5 generations, 6 generations right now? You think we sit in a room with the Rothschilds and they're sitting here talking about they don't have a plan? They recognizing deals. They're reading deals. They're forcing themselves to read deals. Long deals, contracts, revolving lines of credit. Seeing how the deals are structured. They're spending bathroom time and reading. The ideal trustee. It's not that they know a little bit about a lot. They know enough to be a competent trustee, to communicate with lawyers, to communicate with accountants, to communicate with other business people, to get jobs done. You learn the language of legalese and trusteeship. Why? Because most of the time, trustees dealing in contract, which is a deal. A deal is usually going to come in the form of a contract. If it's not in the contract, you shouldn't be doing it. We'll say it again. If it's not in the contract, you shouldn't be doing it. We'll say it again. If it's not in the contract, you shouldn't be doing it. Who's the ideal trustee? Trustees are definitely thinking generations out. You already said you're going to be the sacrificial lamb if you're going family estate route. Trusteeship. You're willing to invest in the education The family's willing to invest in the education. You're willing to get the education. This is one thing we've seen time and time again. The ideal trustees are getting the education. They're investing in the education. As soon as they see this information, they sell out. They go, whether it's to school, they go and get additional education to solidify themselves on why they are going to be a staple in the trustee environment. They say, I make myself an asset. Not just are they a trustee manager, a manager of assets, they are an asset themselves. They have made themselves an information depository, which information is an asset. When you do deals, you're doing it over information, which is an asset. And that's why people in trust deal with people in trust. And so we have trustees that invest in their education, their continued education. The vault was a blip in space. It was a part of the great scheme of grand scheme of wealth. The ideal trustee is looking to be a prudent investor. We were at the workshop. We had a workshop recently at the vault on May 1st. Packed the room out, gave a 60-day notice. Trustees were already the ideal people to come to the room, and we had some additional people outside of it come in. As far as the first workshop this year, we're going to do another workshop here in about 90 days, so just keep your eye out. We may be looking for like the August September time frame for another workshop for trustees that are going through right now. Enrollment is open right now. There is late situations that you can come in after May 30th. So right now the enrollment for trustee training is going on again. We're going to go through with another group of trustees. 12-week program, 3 months. We have a workshop quarterly for the trustees. Those are the ideal people that want to meet with other trustees, connect with other trustees, have these workshops, make it a point to what they call invest in their private education, and as well the private relationships that are associated with it. And we know some trustees missed it from the last time, so we know we have to make it a point to get the environment just churning again this year. COVID kind of did his damage on the situation, but we made it a point. There was no real damage last year. We just kind of capitulated to the market. The market said they didn't really want to do too many face-to-face events, so we kind of held out, and now we're back at it this year doing the workshops. We usually do workshops every quarter, so we just had our first quarter workshop, but we're rocking along, and yeah, the ideal trustees are the people that are pushing as hard as they can this year, and we know that the vault has a lot of stress tests in it to test and shake out the real from the fake. But at the end of the day, the real ones right now are putting in the work, and they've always put in the work, and it's just a microcosm of the macrocosm of what they've already done in their life. So the ideal trustees are people that have had success already in their life, that are having success in their business. Those are people that are ideal. Then so many people come and say, well, what if I have a job? It's like, look, ladies and gentlemen, being a trustee is like having a job. You just don't get paid. Not in all cases. In our case, we don't get paid. How much better is that to know you don't get paid, so you really give a damn? You got to stop working for money anyways. The ideal trustee knows that you don't work for money. Money's supposed to work for you. Money's supposed to work for the family. Shout out to the Bronx for tuning in live and listening to replay. Appreciate the Bronx for tuning in live, listening to replay. The ideal trustee knows that they don't work for money. They're working for deals. How many deals get done? One of the mentors said, you don't get rich off one deal. That's why most people, they don't get their business sold, because they're trying to get rich off one deal, one transaction. You could get rich off selling multiple businesses. You can get rich off buying and selling multiple businesses, buying and selling multiple stock. This isn't financial advice. This is business. The ideal trustee knows that you get wealthy off multiple businesses. No one is a billionaire off of multiple businesses. You have to have multiple businesses, multiple assets that you're a manager of. That's who the ideal trustee is. They actually say, I'm a multitasker. If you're not a multitasker, quit now. If you're not trying to learn computer skills, quit now. I mean, there are things you're going to have to learn. If you don't have the student mentality, quit now. Trustee training is going to test your student mentality. Yes, it is. That's what trustee training does. It tests your student mentality. Oh, everybody comes through trustee training. Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Oh, now it's a lot, huh? At first you were gobbling it up. I'm ready to get ready going in this trustee training stuff. I'm ready to get going in it. And then how many people, Trust Christian, I've been listening to you for years and I'm not ready yet. At least they know. But the ones that went full throttle, those are actually the ones that made it. They went through and they got to the end of the tunnel. The ones that went halfway, they went halfway. They stuck in the dark right now. Sometimes you can buy a relationship, sometimes you can buy an asset. Who knows which one's more valuable? Rather have the asset than try to not trump the relationship. And so many people, they come through and, we see that the ideal trustees are the ones that they recognize both the relationship and the assets. The ones that in the middle of a show, we answer the call for because those are the people that have said, we put our life behind you. And so now we're going to continue rocking with you because you changed everything. We changed everything. It mattered to them. They went fully through. It mattered to them. It wasn't what they say mind over matter. It wasn't in their mind to do it. They mattered it. They manifested the capital. They manifested the intelligence. They manifested it. They pulled it out of the ether. Who's the ideal trustee? They have an excellent student mentality. They're working to develop their student mentality. Who's the ideal trustee? We had a situation where a trustee didn't even want to open up the bank account. How you gonna call yourself a trustee? You ain't even open up a bank account. What are we talking titles here now? Are we in the title game? Okay, you didn't open a bank account. So the trust is managing assets privately, even more privately. We hear this. Is that true? Who's the ideal trustee? Trustees that take it serious from the beginning. They don't procrastinate. They make moves. The ideal trustee is someone that might be competitive. The ideal trustee is someone that's diligent. The ideal trustee is someone that's going to pay attention to the details. The ideal trustee is someone that's going to be a leader, that's going to take responsibility and fix situations. The ideal trustee is someone that has good communication skills, that can get other people to do things when they want it done, not when other people want to do it, when they want it done. And that's what the mentors told us. We keep it really simple. Appreciate Atlanta for tuning in live, listen, replay. Shout out to Atlanta. Just did our last workshop in Atlanta. Atlanta's been showing us a lot of love for years. We've always appreciated it. Hot Atlanta. It's been hot in Atlanta for years. A lot of people flew in and out same day. Workshop was 9 to 5. People flew in 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock that morning. Flew out the same night back around 10 o'clock. Really love the convenience for the trustees to allow them to be, able to have that flexibility with their families. Sometimes, usually we would have had a lot more families in the room this time for sure. And we know for sure we're going to have a lot more families in the room next time. We're going to have families in the room again. And there were families in the room, even still with 13-year-old children in the room in Hotlanta. So, we definitely made it a point to, the trustees showed up, additional people showed up, and, we had a great workshop. And so that's always what it's about. Who is the ideal trustee? The ones that show up to the workshops. It's interesting because, people think they can duck and dodge this private stuff. Oh man, trust Christian, am I gotta invest in my education? You think you're not gonna get on the airplane and have to fly to another state? You think you're not gonna have to fly to another country? Guess what? If you're not willing to do that, you already lost. You're not the ideal trustee. Face the facts. Oh man, Trust Christian, you give me the brutal, honest truth on here, Trust Christian. It's like, man, I don't know if I'm really built for that. It's like, exactly. Don't even. That's what the mentors said. The mentors gave us fair warning the whole time we were talking. They're like, you sure you want to do this? You sure you want to do this? Every time we talk, you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you still want to do this? Are you sure? But then when you consistently come back with growth, what can the mentors say? The mentors admire you. They look at you as a pupil. A student that actually followed directions. How many people don't read directions in the consultation emails? How many people don't read directions in general? If you don't read directions, you're not reading the deals. You got to read the directions because that's in the deals. It's telling you how the deal is structured. It's in the deal. You got to read it though, thoroughly. Some people say, "Oh, I read the deal one time. I read the case one time, Trust Christian, and I didn't get it." How many times are you supposed to read the case? As many times until you get it. It's called reading and comprehension. Of course, there's the cliff notes. There's the dissent. Trust Christian. So you trying to tell me it's only 8 to 10 cases I got to know in private trusteeship, but I got to read them more than once? That's it. Read them 8 times. That's 80 daggone times you read the cases. The cases that can save your life. How many people are reading the cases that can save your life? But they're not reading the cases. Because it's too easy to do what? Celebrate every holiday. Now we got a dedicated group of trustees going through trustee training. So don't think that, oh, that's the trustees. We're talking about the ones that's not in trustee training, the ones that may not be ideal. We're talking about the ideal versus the ones that aren't. The ideals, they got to celebrate. Guess what? The ideal trustees, they came to the workshop. Despite what times they're in, despite they wore a mask. Fine, some of them had to wear a mask. Some of them wore a mask. It was an exceptional workshop because the energy for where we are. See, the workshop was at 10%. That's slightly critical mass. They were slightly at critical mass. By the time we get to June and July, people would have already experienced $1 million lifestyle payout within the entire system this year so far. The trustee training from the trustees that enrolled last year, at the end of last year, this year, and going so far, these trustees, this batch of trustees are benefactoring or trustees of assets that typically are $1 million assets and paying and such, as if you were retired already. But what happens? These trustees were in position. They had savings. They had 20,000. They had 30,000. They had 50,000. They had 100,000. They had 150,000 plus $1,000 to put into investments. The private sector investments, the private placement accounts, the things you don't get access to unless you're in the private sector and unless you're in the ideal trustee capacity. Well, we know who's the ideal trustee. The ideal trustees are the ones that are going to have an attitude of, I can do this. We don't know if the trustees have the shaking boots, but we know that the trustees, the ones that went through, the ones that we'll pick up for in the middle for the show, these are people that are ideal trustees. These are people that are taking business very seriously. They're usually the leader of their families. But what's interesting is we actually have families go through where they have father and daughter and business together. And not only that, when you go to their business establishment, they have their niece and their nephew and their daughter working at the business. Ladies and gentlemen, people that are ideal are the family oriented people. The people that suck at trustee training are the ones that are not focused on family. This is the facts every single time. The ones that think they're slick, that go through the trustee training program and they're not focused on family, it's a wrap. I remember back in the day when we were doing business with other people, we gave a discount because as soon as somebody mentioned family, we would say, this is somebody that gives a damn. This is somebody that's trying to establish generational wealth for family. So usually the family-oriented people, we got that strong sense around them. People come on the phone now, they just trying to get in and out. People come on the phone, they're ideal. They get it. They get going. They pull the trigger without us having to ask, are you pulling a trigger? Because they're trigger pullers. They're decision makers. Who's the ideal trustee? Someone that's good at making decisions. Oh no, trust Christian, I'm not good at making decisions. Well, guess what? You're not the ideal trustee. Don't even embark. That's what the mentors say. That's what we're going to say. Don't embark. It's a waste of your time. This is great information. Find somebody that meets the standard. Who's the ideal trustee? Someone that is willing to be a pioneer and go into different environments. There's a quote that we have in our system, and it's about a Rockefeller managers. One of the Rockefeller managers of their trust. The Rockefellers died with over, main Rockefeller died with over 1,000 trust. He had a lot of trust, but he wasn't the manager of all of them. And they said the reason why he was so successful and the reason why their family is so successful is because they have great managers. That just falls back into the ideal trustee of being a great asset manager. We don't have to manage every asset, ladies and gentlemen. We can manage specific assets. But we have to read deals. We have to look at deals. If you want to know where to read deals, go to Financial Times. That's a magazine. People say, oh, where the deals at? Uh, Guess what? Go read the stock market companies that go public. Go read their prospectus. You can go and see what's their IPO. I think it's you guys will figure it out. Just Google IPO for whatever company, initial public offering. What are they issuing? Appreciate the Bronx for tuning in live, listening to replay. We got another Bronx listening live, tuning in replay. Shout out to New York. Had some New York people come down, fly down from New York to come to the workshop. So appreciate New York for showing love and learning. That's what it's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, it's business, not personal. You got to read the deals. You got to stretch yourself if you're going to become a senior trustee. You got to read the deals. You got to read the cases. Appreciate somebody's in the Bronx again. We got the Bronx. New York is representing heavy today. Got Melrose. Guess that's in the Bronx. Appreciate Melrose in the Bronx. Hmm. People say they don't know where to look for the deals. Oh, that was the issue, huh? That y'all waited this long in the episode to hear that. Well, where are the deals at, Trust Christian? Well, the vault. We got to know where the deals at. They in the vault, right? Yeah, they're in the Financial Times. They're the initial public offerings for companies. Appreciate My Haven for tuning in live, listening to replay. My Haven. You got to read the deals. What about the banks? Go read the banks. Go see what their earnings report is. When you go look at their earnings report and see how they're making their money every year. See how these companies are making their money. See how these companies are making their money. That's how you see the deals. The deals are how they're making their money. You can read these deals. These are public companies. They may not be the private deals, but they're public deals. They're letting you know where they're allocating their capital. Appreciate Columbus, Ohio for tuning in live, listening to replay. Shout out to Columbus, Ohio for tuning in live, listening to replay. Who's the ideal trustee? People that are going to learn it from wherever they are. We've had trustees in Columbus, Ohio before. We've had trustees from the Bronx. We got trustees from the Bronx in the program. We got trustees from Louisiana. That was the individual that just called us on the show. Louisiana. Trusteeship, Louisiana. We got trustees in Atlanta. A bunch of trustees in Atlanta. Oh no, Trust Christian. It took you about 3 to 4 years to get here, Trust Christian. You look like you the ideal trustee when you could put together a network of private trustees, Trust Christian. That looks like the ideal trustee, a person that can put together a group of trustees privately. Exactly. Because that's what we do. Because that's trusteeship. You got to do that for yourself. So we just leading from the front, as they say. We leading from the front. As a trustee, yes, the ideal trustee, you are going to go into environments and create a network. Because your network's your network. You got to be able to answer the phone for assets. That individual's an asset. Are you an asset? Is someone willing to drop things and pick up the phone for you? because you're an ideal trustee. Or you got people interrupting your day. Trustees seem to have that problem sometimes. Oh, people interrupted my day, so I can't be a successful trustee, an ideal trustee. Okay. Ideal trustees know how to manage time, manage assets. Time is an asset. You are an asset manager. You're managing time. You're managing assets. Oh no, Trust Christian, I didn't get this education in school. How long is it going to take for me to change my mind? As soon as you do the steps that are required, follow the steps. It's an easy yellow brick road. But how many people want to be caught in the, hey, I gotta do it the way the system tells me. But you know the system told you was something that didn't work. I'm trying to do something different. You're either trying or you're gonna do it. It's a couple guarantees in life. It's either you do or you don't. The ideal trustees know that. They don't play around with it. We talk about trustees doing this all the time. Are you playing around with the opportunities? Are you playing around with the time that you have right now? The moment. This is how you know someone's not fit for trusteeship because they want to tell you they can't watch a 16-minute video because they're time poor. You can't watch a 16-minute video because you're time poor. You said that you don't have a long attention span. You say you have a short attention span. That's how you know you're poor. People that are successful, people that are ideal trustees have time for successful acts and doing the diligence of reading a deal. No matter how long it takes, no matter how long it takes to observe the deal, that is what you do. Because you are a deal maker. That's why your family's in position. That's how you don't work for money, because you're working to do deals. But oh no, no. This is hard colloquial information for the lay, huh? So the lay is trying to tell you to break it down more for the lay. But they're lazy. That's what they are. The lay is lazy. You don't want to watch the 60-minute video. You don't want to comprehend the information. You got time to watch Instagram. You got time to watch YouTube. You got time to watch every single thing else. Because it's not 16 minutes, you can watch it. But because it's 16 minutes that could change your life for an investment, for growth, for observing a deal for 16 minutes. Hold on. You don't have 16 minutes multiple times for deals. Then that obviously shows you're not making deals. That obviously shows that you're not the ideal trustee. And that's why they're not the ideal trustee. Simple as that. They're not the ideal trustee because they don't want to read a deal. They don't want to comprehend a deal. They just want to look at a deal. They want to read a deal. They don't want to they don't want to comprehend it. They don't want to comprehend how this is a good deal or a bad deal. They can't explain back to a person why it's a bad deal to them. They just say, oh, it's not a deal. I don't know if it's a good deal or not. This is where we are. Are you one of them people? Oh man, I ain't got the time to watch that multiple times, man. I'm trying to watch my movies. I'm watching movies every day. People are watching movies every day on Netflix, ladies and gentlemen. Like, this is insane. People are working for money and they're watching movies every day. Now, some of us don't have jobs. And we're not watching movies every day. We're moving and shaking while the getting is good. Appreciate Delaware for tuning in live, listen to replay. Shout out to Delaware for tuning in live, listen to replay. Let's think about that. Where is the competent financial population? Oh, Trust Christian, I got a job. I'm making $80,000 a year. I got $50,000 saved up. Trust Christian. I'm getting paid $100,000. Me and my husband, we getting paid. We getting paid over $120,000 a year. We got $80,000 in our 401k. We got like 120, but another 120, 150 put together. We kind of got 200 and a couple other miscellaneous assets. But then we got about like 30,000 maybe liquid in savings. Okay. And we're scared and we don't know where to invest. We got jobs, but we're scared to invest. At the end of every year, we're back at the same spot. We still got 30,000 in savings, liquid. We still got more money in our 401k because that was the taken out of our check. And then we're going over to well, we just pretty much spent all our money the whole year. We were paying for mortgage. We went on some vacations. We paid for family presents, all this good stuff. Oh, so they living at their means, not below their means. They living at their means. They living at their means. Oh, okay. Trust Christian won't know about business too much. Oh, you've been watching Netflix, huh? You living in the suburbs. You got a house. You got a car. But you're on Netflix. You're not reading business books anymore. Oh, okay. So you're trying to be in business, but you're not reading business books. You got a bit. You're trying to be in business, and you're not reading business books. You're not watching business TV shows. You're watching movies. You're getting rid of the stress from the woes of the day at work. Okay. Ideal trustees, remember. These are the stories. Oh, trust Christian. Y'all don't even know the horror stories we hear, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all don't know the horror stories we hear. We hear the gambit from the ones that don't want to do a deal. They don't know what they want to do, but they don't want to do a deal, but they think they need to be in trusteeship. Trust Christian, you just sounded good. Everything sounded good. It sounds good. I need it. How do I get going? They're not the ideal trustee. Trust Christian, man, I'm going through life, how do I get it together? How do I come up with it? I'll be back in months. I'm not. What did the vote tell you since day one? Partner with other people in your family. This is how you know you don't trust anybody. You can't even scrounge up the pennies with your other business friends or family, but you're talking to them on a daily basis. This is your life and your family estate on the line. People playing with it though. They playing with it. It's too easy to play with it. It's over the internet. How serious can it be? I could turn my phone off at any moment so it won't be real anymore. Right? We got trustees that's on it. Trustees that's on it, it ain't much to say about them. They go through, they move forward, and they go become an asset to the vault. Trustees have gone back to law school because of us in trustee training. We got trustees that have got insurance licenses that sell insurance because of it. We got trustees that are portfolio managers that manage assets in trust as a portfolio manager. We have trustees that manage multiple businesses, gambit of businesses. Those are the ideal trustees. These are people that have families. These are people that bring their families to the workshop. They don't just come. They bring their family. They got their children sitting in the room. They might have a 9-year-old. They sit in the room, front and square. 9 years old, playing on the cell phone, in front of the room, front row. Somebody missed out. But that 9-year-old got information that's called 1% information. They were in the room and got 1% investment information that you could only get if you were in trust and you were in the private sector. That 9-year-old got something that someone else say, oh, this weekend, la-di-da-di-da-di, I don't think I can fly in and out. Maybe it's a little too expensive. Maybe they won't like me. Maybe it's a whole bunch of reasons. Maybe. We had trust. Did someone tell us, oh man, I really kicked myself for why I didn't go. Okay. Keep playing around with this private stuff. Think it's going to be around forever. Y'all know it's not out there like that. It's not being educated on like that. It's the private sector. But all of a sudden now we got this, oh, it's the private sector. We got the agents coming into the room at the workshop. They so private. They coming in our room, but they never pitch a deal. The agents. Oh, we going to come in the environment, but they're not the ideal trustee. How were they not the ideal trustee? We going to call them out. It's the Moorish cats. We done with this. It's the Moorish cats. The Bays, the Days, the L's, the Ali's, whatever you want to call yourself. You came into the workshop multiple years now. in the workshops have yet to present any value with the deal. Come into the workshops. You want to know how they're not ideal trustees? Because they don't want to deal in trust. Because they ain't in the right goddamn trust. They over here trying to claim their birth name, claim their birth certificates, do different types of trust. And they don't want to deal with people in trust. They want to make this claim, oh, I got this insurance policy and I ain't got to pay for it and yada, yada, yada. And then when our trustees check these fools, when we check these people, it's a group. Step up. The ones that don't have that madness and that spirit attached to them are successful. The ones that come through and they have this information. I mean, we know the trustees that are successful in the program, and we've yet to see the days that Alza Ali have foundations. They know how to do it properly. They don't. We only know one other one, and that was a trustee working with us. Trust Christian. That relationship. Other than that, oh no. The rest of them come in with this poverty mindset. They're not coming with a deal. They're not coming to do business in trust with trust. They're not, because they don't have it. Because they don't have the education. That's why they're coming to Trust Christian in the vault. That's a fact. And it's okay. We're supposed to be in the rooms together and working together and communing together and conversating together. Supposedly, since you my brother from another mother. Yeah, right. That's why I gotta talk like this. So the younger brothers and sisters that listen to this information and say, "Oh man, Trust Christian, I got took for $6,000 to do a status correction. I got $10,000 hoodwinked off me for this UCC stuff. Oh, we heard the story for years. Oh, Trust Christian, somebody told me I don't gotta pay taxes. Blah blah. Yeah, right. And then we look at you. That's not right. Oh, we got the laws right here. Okay." We got people that make $400,000 a month. What you gonna tell him? You think the feds ain't gonna come down on you? You making $400,000 a month, and you talking that madness? You better be structured properly. It's business, not personal. Appreciate Detroit for tuning in live, listening to replay. Shout out to Detroit. Got D-Town in the house. D-Town. Ideal trustees. These guys say they supposed to be managing a vast estate. If the trustees were so solid, they would have put together a private trustee training workshop, a private trustee training event for the trustees for the vast estate for the Negro to colored people that supposedly fell off. But somehow, somewhere, the trustees that are managing it are misappropriating funds. Somehow, somewhere, they haven't built trusteeship in a manner in which it's reflected that people have a great rapport with the organization. There are people that contact us from these organizations all the time. Well, I'm not trying to go down the rabbit hole. I can't get out. I ain't trying to go down the rabbit hole. I get started and look, I need some money, man. This stuff over here talking about changing my name. This stuff over here talking about making sure I'm in the right position because of my status. But I ain't making no money. Trust Christian. I need to make some money, man. Like when you come over to the private, do you gotta work? Because when you come over to the private, I'm saying I ain't not supposed to just be living off of like a bond or something. A promissory note. And then guess what? The ones that's being real with you, brothers and sisters, the ones of us that say, look, yeah, we in the private sector. We telling you, yeah, you got to work. You got to manage assets. That's what the private sector is about. If you're doing it in the public now, you're going to do it in the private. But oh, no. It's this mystery. It's this illusion. It's this, you got to wear this red cap on your head. Oh, yeah? We went there tonight. Or today, wherever you are in the world. Appreciate you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Don't fall for none of this foolishness out here. Stay on your paper. We're in the second quarter. It's been a great run. We're running to the hills right now. We're running to the hills. See, people are still stuck in 2020. They're stuck in it. And all the news that's along with it. And we're saying right now, We got trustees that are going to be millionaires at the end of this year. They're first generation millionaires. We can put the stamp on it. If they have the faith and they do what they're supposed to do, we can guarantee at least 5 to 10 plus millionaires because they follow directions, because they invested in themselves. Oh, Church Christian, they come on the line humble as hell every week. Oh, Church Christian, I don't know what I'm doing, but I had some money saved up because they were in position. That's fair. They were in position. So if you weren't in position in the first and second quarter, you might got served something. If you weren't saving, you got served something. Guess what? The bills are going to go up. The income should go up. That's what happened. They're going to become millionaires. Is it too late? Not really. When we get to June, we have a different type of countdown. Or July, like at the end days of June, early July, we have a countdown. But for the most part, we have people that have the opportunity here have that listen to the vault that are in trusteeship. That's why we had to pick up the phone for that trustee tonight because they're already a millionaire. They're going to be more of a millionaire off of talking to us about a project. We're talking about deals. You got to be talking about deals. The ideal trustee is talking about deals. They're talking about cases. They're talking about trusteeship every single day. They're living trusteeship. You have your children involved because it's trusteeship. This is what people have to live. That's the ideal trustee. When you really put on that trustee cap, you do it every day. And that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Who's the ideal trustee? Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listen, replay. Christian at trustchristian.com if you want to get in contact with us. Christian at trustchristian.com is the email. Everybody always asks about the website. We're living on pure referrals nowadays. So we appreciate everybody that comes through and still comes through to YouTube. But we always want to move into that phase. We always appreciate everybody that's reached out throughout the years. And we know how that goes. So the trustee training workshops, they're around. We're moving to bigger and better things. But this was the time of year where trustees, really would benefit from that first quarter stimmy and then even returns coming back this year already, and just people moving forward in a major way. There's major opportunities going on in the market right now. This is one of those things that, of course, the land grab could have happened a little bit later on, but the land grab right now is still saying, look, there's still some good skimmy deals out there that are just on the top, and if you just have your eye, you can get in on the quality, good early deals. But then on the back end of that, there are deals that are just going to continue to pop up throughout the year. It might get a little bit worse as far as the market and people selling, but you still see a lot of benefit of being able to be in a market where so many people are selling because there's so many benefit to sell right now. So many people are going to need capital, so deals are going to just continue to come. So just look forward to hearing from everybody. Christian at trustchristian.com. Appreciate y'all for tuning in live, listening, replay. Look forward to hearing from y'all. Peace.